With Fat Ass 45's tax returns being released, now I know what he was trying to hide. Um, One of the biggest secrets in American politics was what's in the tax returns that Fat Ass 45 has refused to release for so long, has at last been revealed by the New York Times. Times journalists Russ Buettner, Suzanne Craig, and Mike McIntyre obtained the tax return data extending over more than 2 decades related to the Fat Ass and have revealed their findings in the bombshell news report, and they are not posting the documents themselves to avoid jeopardizing their source. For years, the political world has speculated on just what Fat Ass 45 was trying to hide by holding back his tax returns and by falsely claiming he can't release them because until the IRS finishes an extended audit, which they weren't under audit. Was it that he paid no income taxes at all in some years? Was it that he was far less successful of a businessman than he let on? Or was he claiming illegal, dubious deductions? The answer is it turns out to be all of the above. The Times story makes clear that the supposedly wealthy fat ass often paid no income taxes while his businesses regularly lost the vast sums of money, and he himself was on the hook for increasing sums in loans. All that is politically damaging enough to Fat Ass 45's image, and likely a sufficient reason to work hard to keep the tax return secret. But there's likely another reason behind Fat Ass 45's reticence, because reporters would scour his returns for illegally dubious claims and put the pieces together as to how he was trying to snooker the IRS. That's just what ended up happening here. Just to name one example, Buettner, Craig, and McIntyre sussed out that mysterious write-offs for consulting fees on certain Fat Ass 45's projects matched the amounts of payments to Fat Ass 45's daughter wife Ivanka, and there's far more in the Times' excellent piece. One major theme for the Times piece is that the IRS audit of Fat Ass 45 is extremely serious, and that he could end up owing the U.S. government more than $100 million. So reporters' scrutiny of his tax returns might not just be politically problematic for the for Fat Ass 45; they would also be financially and legally problematic. Um, back when Fat Ass 45 first ran for the Republican nomination back in 2016, he came under an enormous amount of criticism from his rivals for not releasing his tax returns as the past presidents nominees have done. Initially, he had promised that he would release them, but he kept making excuses. His main one being the false claim that he could not release the tax returns because he was under audit. So Fat Ass 45's tax returns became the white whale of his critics, with everyone from reporters to House Democrats to New York State prosecutors trying to get a hold of them. After after more than 4 years, um, Buettner, Craig, and McIntyre at the Times got the goods. The story reveals the following: Fat Ass 45 did indeed pay zero income taxes from 2011 to 2014, and only a paltry amount of $750 in 2016 and 17. He pulled this off by claiming that his businesses lost a massive amount of money, and he has $421 million in debt coming due in the next 3 years, and he would owe $100 million more to the U.S. government if he loses his audit battle with the IRS. There are ample political reasons here for Fat Ass 45 to have been so reluctant to release his tax returns. For one, there's the fact that he paid so little income taxes, which will look bad from the perspective of many Americans who paid much more in taxes than he has. You might wonder why Fat Ass 45 would care about this long, given his long-standing ability to wriggle free of political scandals, but that ability wasn't so clear in 2016 when he first started holding back the tax returns. Additionally, Fat Ass 45's first campaign came a few years after Mitt Romney was dogged by the then Senator Harry Reid's false allegation that Romney had paid no taxes for 10 years. The political convention wisdom was that a wealthy candidate having paid little to nothing in taxes would be punished electorally. But the specific reason Fat Ass 45 paid no taxes is embarrassing. It's because his businesses lost tons of money. At least that's what he claims. But keep in mind that the tax return information is his representation of his business to the IRS. To be clear, some parts of Fat Ass 45's business really do make money. For instance, the Apprentice set cash pouring in, and the Fat Ass 45 tower is profitable, but he avoids paying taxes on these profits because he's claimed so much massive losses from other parts of his business empire. The other big reason that that Fat Ass 25 was probably reluctant to release the returns is that there's clearly some legally questionable stuff in there. For instance, the records obtained by Buhner, Craig, and McIntyre show that Fat Ass 45 wrote off $26 million in supposed consulting fees as a business expense between 2011 and 2018, but the reporters took the added step of uncovering where some of that money was going, and they figured out that some of those write-offs matched payments to Fat Ass 45's daughter wife Ivanka, as revealed on her own financial disclosure forms. Now, Ivanka was an executive vice squatter of the Fat Ass 45 organization, and not some outside consultant. And sources told the Times that there were no outside consultants involved in certain of the projects for Fat Ass 45's business write-off consulting fees. The Times story also mentions other questionable practices. Fat Ass 45 dubbed a Westchester, New York mansion an investment property so he could write off property taxes on it. But Fat Ass 45's dumbass son Eric called it our compound. The Fat Ass 45 organization also wrote off Fat Ass 45's Junior's legal fees for the lawyer who represented the Fat Ass 45 Junior in the Russia investigation. This is probably just scratching the surface. The Times reporters say they have more stories coming, but the larger point is that Fat Ass 45 has a history of questionable tax practices and is facing an audit where he has a lot on the line and appears to be in a financial situation in which having reporters closely scrutinize his tax returns can only be a problem for him. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, random like, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.